bent on conquest. The introduction. The nations stand in awe. In our days, God has begun a movement of His people, unparalleled since the dawn of Christendom. Through His Spirit, God is amazing the nations as they witness the establishment and phenomenal growth of discipling churches on every populated continent on the planet. Never in the course of human history since the first century has New Testament Christianity had such a profound and far-reaching impact in our world. Nations stand in awe. People stand in awe. Even the enemies of the cross stand in awe of what God is accomplishing through His church. The time has come to tell the story. The current world population exceeds 5 billion. This statistic is rich with implications. One implication is that there are currently more people alive on this planet than have died throughout all of history. Another implication is that a movement of God in this generation has the potential to influence more than half the people who ever lived. The movement is alive. In the spring of 1979, the Lexington Church of Christ was a dying congregation. Its membership had withered to 30 Christians, with an eldership wrestling with the likelihood of closing their doors forever. As last hopes discussed, the idea was proposed to bring a young minister and his wife to the congregation. They would try to breathe new life into a terminal situation. There was not a person present who could have imagined or believed what God was about to do in their lives, even if they had been told. The young minister and his wife, Kip and Elena McKean, met with 30 Christians in the living room of Bob and Pat Gimble on June 1st, 1979. From the meeting emerged a movement of God in the 20th century greater in scope and impact than that of even Luther's Reformation. Locally, from the initial group of 30, God has raised up a congregation with a Sunday attendance of over 4,000 in just 9 years. Nationally, the movement launched from this congregation has been responsible for the establishment or reconstruction of congregations in virtually every major city in the United States. Internationally, the multiplying ministry movement has spawned church plantings on every populated continent in the world. Sent by the Holy Spirit of God, these church plantings have imitated the biblical design of the Boston Church, but with adaptation to local cultures. The results have been utterly amazing. The Great Commission of Jesus Christ to make all disciples of nations is being completed. This book is dedicated to the goal of presenting an explanation for the impact being achieved by the Holy Spirit on the world through this movement. First, the biblical concept of discipleship will be discussed. Then, a practical look at the establishment of a Boston church planting, the Mexico City Church of Christ, will be presented in detail. By examining the various stages in the building of this discipling church, these biblical concepts can be reproduced all around the world in future plantings. Those who implement the concepts outlined on these pages will write the history of this generation. These concepts will change the man. They will surely change his ministry. They have already started to change the world.